Hey, this is Dr. Carla Michelle, and I'm so glad to have this time with you. Welcome to the Strong Network podcast. And for those of you who are just catching on, I've had this podcast for about 6 years, but things have changed. And now I need to upload video. And here it is. I just kind of have some workout clothes on, and I want to introduce who I am to the video people here, one that hosts my podcast as well as here on YouTube. And welcome, Dr. Carla Michelle. I am an executive coach. I do some speaking. I do a lot of speaking. I shouldn't just say some. I'm a podcast host and creator of the Strong Network podcast. We've had guests, some mighty, amazing people as guests on this podcast. And I look to have guests sometime in the future come back. Today, I want to really dive into what strong means, to reintroduce it to those who know about it and introduce it to those who don't. Strong is not just about how you show up and how you're surviving, and you've got to be that strong person to get through. But strong to me is a methodology that I used to get from where I was to where I want to be and to where I'm going. So strong was more of an acronym. And I remember going to this conference, and if I say the name, you're going to know. But it was, I think it was Speak and Write to Make Millions. So you know who I'm talking about. And I might have had the actual title wrong, but I went and I flew to Florida and I sat in this conference, and it was all about investing in myself and finding out who I am and how do I get back or get move forward in what I've done in the past. Because I took about a decade break and did a reset in my life, and I had 4 children, went back to school, and I was going, okay, it's time to get back and really do what I was doing. I was getting my PhD in business psychology, and I just kind of wanted to use my master's as an MFT and combine it to help executives and to help leaders and to help those people who are looking to take their lives to where they see their life could be and beyond. So sitting in this meeting, we had to come up with a book. So my book was about strong. And strong, I wanted an acronym. So the acronym that me and a good friend were working on, our partner that is still a good friend, that we had gotten together and came up with these ideas, strong was it. So we're sitting there like, what can this acronym mean? And for S, we went with strategic, strategy, having a strategy. T, talent. R, resilient. O, optimism. N, necessary. And G, global. So in that, that's all I kind of had. And I had this speaking engagement for women in business, and I'm talking about this. And I had my book because it really wasn't real to me at that point. Not saying it wasn't real, but I wanted to deliver it in a way that really explained what strong meant, because I wanted to get it right. And I remember after giving this keynote, one of the women in charge came up to me. She goes, the feedback was great. And it was. I mean, it was great. Products sold, many other opportunities came out of that. And she goes, it would be good if you didn't have your book and it just really came out of you. And I took that. So you're getting it out of me. I mean, it's years later since I've done that, but I want to talk about strategy and the power of having a strategy. And if we don't get through all of this today, I'll do a part two. But strategy, strategizing. I think some of the things that we forget and have not even been taught is why and the benefits of strategizing your life, your next step. Many times we have goals. We have many goals at the new year, but what is the strategy to get there from here and now? We can say we have the goal, but do we really have a strategy? And sometimes it is just the strategy for the day, that day. What today do I need to be doing towards what I see in my future? And we don't do that. For me, my strategy was, how do I get from working in a part-time job with no benefits and getting the income and the insurance that I wanted. And how do I get to that point where I am where I want to be financially and having a lot more freedom in my choices, man. So in this part of this strategy, I ended up being laid off. Being laid off and having to go on unemployment meant that I now had to have a new strategy, which was how am I going to survive off of unemployment? I think it was like $800. I don't know if it was $800 a week or something like that at the time, but how am I going to survive with 4 kids? I have rent to pay on this on our place where we were living. I had a car that was luckily paid off, but I had insurance. So my strategy was cut down to the bare minimum, cut down to, at that time, caller ID was in on your house phone. I had no caller ID on my house phone. We had one thing I found value was cable, Disney Channel. So I did keep that because I had 4 kids and I knew that, don't judge me, but they needed to have their time in front of the television so that I could have my time to myself. So my strategy was how I was going to spend the money, where the money was going. Fridays were my strategy. Also, was Fridays was the good day. Friday was Monday through Thursday. I'm putting in time. I'm looking and putting out my resume. I'm going on interviews. I am volunteering at my kids' school. I'm showing up, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday was more like the fun day. So Friday was like, oh, I'm gonna go take my $20 and I'm gonna go get some coffee and maybe have lunch. Back then you could do something like that. And just kind of have the relax and just watch a good movie, maybe get a bottle of wine, things like that. So like my Friday, Saturday, Sunday was my relax, you put some time in. So that was my strategy. Monday through Thursday, I'm going to look for this job. I'm focused. I'm putting time in with the kids. And then the weekends were, okay, well, it's time to have some fun because I did all I could do Monday through Thursday. So let me relax and be grateful for what I have Friday through Sunday. And that was my strategy. Eventually, I went in and I remembered when back in the day how I used to go and work for an agency, do contract work. So I reached out again because I had some good experiences doing contract work. So I went back and I did I went back in and they got me in to one of the utility companies. So this was a 6-month possibility to hire. And I went in, did the 6 months, and by this time, I'm still doing contract work. So, you get your check every week. It was a little bit more pay, definitely more pay than unemployment, but things still weren't changing. I still didn't have that health insurance and things like that I wanted for my growing kids. 6 months, we went in. I'm going to tell you one of the things that is also good, but I don't know if I'll tell you now. But there's some things we did for our resume, and with our resume, we made sure that we had all the information that was on the job description. It was in our resume. So the secret was to take the information that they give out for the job description in Word, put it on your resume, make the print, the font all white, right? And then push it back and then put your actual resume on top of it. So when the computer would pick it up, when it went through the system, the computer was reading all the job description as it was and the requirements within the resume. So I don't know if it worked and if that's why I got pulled, but I got pulled. I interviewed for the job that I was in, and then I was hired. And then that's where I knew that I was so excited to have a real check with real benefits. And this utility company had great, great, great benefits that I still enjoy today, that, you know, pension and things that are still set up. So that was what helped me get from where I'm going, where I was to where I wanted to go. And I didn't just stop there, but I want to encourage you that having some kind of strategy of what is it that you want? What are you going to do every day? It's not just, oh yeah, I want to have a good job with good insurance, and then whatever, you know, it's going to happen. And I don't think anyone really thinks it's just going to happen. But my strategy was that Monday through Thursday, I'm going to give it my all. And then Friday through Sunday, I'm going to relax and trust the process. Give it your all and then trust the process. So whatever and wherever you are in your life, it is good to have the momentum, but it's also good to have the moments where you can spend time with you, or spend time with loved ones, and spend time with your dreams and your visions. And not only that, I can't just say that it was Monday through Thursday and Friday through Sunday, but I was really big into affirmations back then, before it is as popular as it is now. Mine were biblically based, you know, scriptures uh, that tied into what I needed in my life, that doors would open for me that no man can shut, that I had the favor of God on me, that, you know, my name would stand out above all names, things that I would just say and still say today. So strategy is important. And when it comes to even where you are now, say you're in a position and you want to move up. So, or you want to expand your leadership, or you're looking to make that jump. You could be a manager who wants to move into a director position. You can be a director who's looking to move into a C-suite position. What is your strategy within this time? And I've had the honor to coach a lot of great people who want to make that jump. And so what is the strategy? One of the things that I look for and suggest is get the job description of what you want. Take that and see how you align. Where do you align? And you cannot go in there with excuse me, with this small mindset. You have to go in there and think outside of the box. You have to go in there and see yourself as someone who can obtain this, that you are definitely necessary, with which is the N in strong. But there is something in you that is so necessary to be in this position, that you're not playing small as you do the connection of where you are now and where you want to go. The thing is also that we have now is AI. So you can go into chat, you can take this job description of the job that you want, put in your resume of your current, and have them tell you how you align with this position, your skill set, your education, your talent, your anything that you've done. How does it align with where you want to go? And it will point it out. So then with that, you should go ahead and update your resume to expand the wording of what you do in your current position, so that it does align with where you want to go. There's some wording you just should not be using anymore when it comes to upgrading your position. It shouldn't just be frontline talking. It has to be next level. Off the top of my head, what can I say? Nothing. I will have to come back with that, because I want to give you real true life examples of what just doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't work to have the normal resume, and you have to have something that represents the position that you are about to obtain. So remind me to remind myself, give you some really pinpointed examples. But the point is a strategy. You have to have a strategy. And it has to go beyond just the normal in I'm going to work really hard for this person, because the person that you are working hard for normally does not want to promote you. You know why? Not because you're not good enough, not because they don't believe in you, but because to lose you in this position could cause some issues for them to meet their quota, to meet their goals, their KPIs, whatever is expected of them. To let you go can make their enterprise department or whatever fall. And so it is to their best interest to keep you there. They'll probably pay you, but the title or switch anything, they'll even give you more responsibility. But to actually have the promotion that you want for the next level, usually it is not found in where you are right now. So that means at times that you have to switch companies, or you have to go to another department. And even that, when you're in the same company with going to another department, they want to talk to your current boss, and sometimes they'll say, hey, I can't afford to lose them. So, you know, if you could find someone else to fit the role, but if you can't, I will do it. But hey, I really don't want to lose this person. So you have to be aware of what's happening behind the scenes about you, as well as if you're doing too good of a job, and I don't want you to change, but if you're doing too good of a job, who in their right mind let you go? And if you see that as a compliment and you want to stay there, then that is totally okay. But if you see it as a compliment, yet it is causing a little friction in your next jump, then you have to figure out, is it time to go outside of the company that I'm in so that I can get the title that I want? Or that's period. I won't even say it that way. But then if there's an opportunity that where you can write your own job description and have the power to give yourself a title that fits, right? So say you want to go from management, you're a senior manager, but you want a director's position, and you have an opportunity, depending on the company you work for, nonprofit or something small or whatever, you go for the director position. Now, one thing you have to know, you can have a director position and you're like, well, the actual director of, it's the of part that you kind of like, well, I wanted to say da 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 instead of da da da. You have to understand, if it says director, I think you're good. If it says director, it means that you're able to show up in this capacity. The other parts of it, I don't believe that you should be concerned about as much as it says director. And then using that now, you carry that position, you can move around even to other organizations because you show that you've had a director position, that you spearheaded a team in a certain meeting certain needs or things that are required of you in this role that are different than a senior manager. All right, you got me? So it's good to have some kind of strategy and then understand the benefits of what the strategy can do for you. And it's also key to know that you can be very fluid in your strategy. It is not, this is my strategy and this is how to say, yeah, you got to fill it out. A lot of times we cause so much stress in our strategy that we are too worn out to even see it through to the end. So in the strategic thinking, there has to be fluidity. There has to be some thinking outside of the box, but understanding the patience that is necessary, that it is going to spark in you some, you'll be uncomfortable. It's going to take you out of your comfort zone. You're going to need to, like, even when I took a leap from working for another organization to doing my own thing, I was told that with a PhD, I was like an anomaly to going from what my position was to where I was looking to go. They couldn't, it's an anomaly. And I was insulted. And then it took a while to be like, oh, that's a compliment. But I still was insulted because I think that there was somewhere you could have put me in another department. But look, now it's okay. I needed that. I feel that it was needed to not make room for me so that I would go ahead and do my own thing. It's Carla Michelle Coaching and Consulting. And it's been a good thing. And so I have no regrets. So understanding with your strategy that you also have to be very fluid in what the bigger picture can be, because the bigger picture is the better picture. The bigger picture is the better picture when it comes to your strategy. Now, I did not get to talented, resilient, optimistic, necessary, or global, but I will. So make sure you tune in and check it out. If you have any questions, you can always leave your comment here. I am at Ms. Carla Michelle on Instagram. You can, where else am I? drcarlainc.com, drcarlainc.com is my website. And you can also email me at hello@drcarlainc.com. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. All right, take care.